folks, if anybody wants to take a screenshot of what I'm going to put up in a moment, will it show? I think it does. Feel free to do that. Right, I'm entering my own tipping comp. I'll tell you what I've picked and I'll give you a couple of reasons why. And then I'm going to give you a couple of pointers on each of the races today. Not that I'm a tipster, not that I know anything, but my thoughts on the racing because, well, why not? Everybody's doing it. On YouTube, it's unbelievable. I've never seen as many previews and opinions in my whole life. I've had time to sort of form a few opinions today and yesterday, although time is killing me again today. I'm behind the 8 ball. But I'll run through a few ideas and thoughts that I've got and see if they align with what you're thinking. Right, the tipping comp. These will be mine. I believe some of you are struggling to get the tips on for some reason. I don't know why. It's nothing to do with me. YouTube must be stopping them coming through, but I don't know why. I don't understand it because I'm not that clever. What I might do in a moment is take the site down, take it offline, boot it back on, and that might help. I don't know. But I've advised folk in the meantime, if you can't get your tips on, even if it's only for today, use the email section of the channel. It's bgog999@hotmail.com. That's bgog999@hotmail.com. Put the tips on there, and then daily thereafter try to put them on the nightly scores on the doors section. Right, race 1. I've gone for Kopek de Bourg. Is it de Bourg? De Bourg to win. And Uranzi is my second pick there. Why have I gone for Uranzi? Well, I've gone for Uranzi because at the moment it's 16-1. You've got to have something bigger than 10-1, and I'm hoping that even if they bet it in, it will be above 10-1. Race 2, I've gone for Majborough. I know its jumping looks a bit sketchy at times, but it seems to come out the other side very, very well. It doesn't lose any distance in the air. In fact, it always gains. And it looks a class above all of them for my money. If it stands up, I see it winning and winning easily. I've gone Bayonne by Night as my second horse there, because I think it's the only one there that I can guarantee hopefully is going to be above 10-1. There was a time I was going to be putting Touch Me Not in, because it looked like Only by Night was going to be about... It was about 11s or 12s last night, and I thought, well, they could bet that in, and I don't want to lose on a bet. But it's gone up to 16s now, so with a bit of luck, because the rules state 10-1 or bigger, I'm hoping Only by Night will be that. I'm not saying it'll come second. I mean, I think Load of Sud and Django have got probably better chances, but they're going to be under the 10-1, so I'm trying to maximise everything I can for that second place. Race 3, I'm going for Grandeur Dame, I think, that's the Alan King one. Never raced over this far before, but looked like a stayer last time it ran and come second and ran well. I'm doing that as the winner in it, and my second horse there is Richmond Lake. I like that at a price. I think I noticed Flat Cap Callum picked it last night, but I liked it myself. I had it picked before I seen his video. I just think it'll run above its odds. I think I've already bet it with Sky Bet on 7 places, I think, because I think it might get in the 7. Might not make the 4, but I'm trying for 2 lots of 10 points. I think if you give me a winner of the race, I think I would... It's very hard. I think I'd have probably picked the Changing Man. But it's about 5 or 6-1, and it has to win in this bet. And I can't be sure anything will win the race. So I'm thinking, well, I'm almost getting that with the other 2 on the each-way sides of things. So that's what I've gone for those 2 far. In the 4th, I've gone Lossiemouth to win. The vibes are awful from everywhere. They really are. But for my money, even if it's 85-90% fit, I think it's a class above them. My second horse I've put in there, and I don't fancy it, but it could run a place, is Jatara. I had Carla Conti because I thought Joyeuse would be betting. They've bet Joyeuse in and they bet Carla Conti in more. They're both about 11-1 now. So if I put one of those in and they go under 10-1, which is very, very possible, my bet's dead. So I'm putting Jatara in because it's 33s. That's not going to finish under 10. So it's all tactical, this, folks. All tactical. That's what you've got to do. Race 5, Constitution Hill. It's one of the 2 that's going to win it, this one or the Elliott one. I think Constitution will win. The prices ain't going to be great, but I'm going to get 10 points if it does. And then I'm looking for 3rd place, because I'm assuming those 2 will be first 2. One's got to be above 10-1. Stateman's the horse there, obviously. I think it's 11s at the moment, but I'm thinking to myself, is it really going to be above 10-1 at the off? I can't see that. Even though everybody's betting the other 2, I can't see Stateman being above 10-1. I mean, did it win 1 champion hurdle and come second in 1 once? So it looks a horse on the wane, but I can't see it. But also I'm thinking to myself, even though I think it'll be below 10-1, I'm certain it'll come 3rd. Based on its last but 1 performance, it was really, really awful. And its last performance, we don't know what with Lossiemouth coming down. So I've gone for Burdett Road. My worry is that it likes to go from the front, and if it locks arms with the Elliott one, 3 or 4 out, they'll probably burn Burdett Road off, but I'm thinking it's about 50-1. It may come third. Race 4, this is the horse that you know about, I've mentioned in my videos before. This is the horse I had for my Triumph Hurdle. I always do well in the Triumph on the last day. Over the last few years I've done fantastically, and I only had one anti-post this year. It was that Mercia, and it's running today in, is it the Fred Winter, whatever it's called? Is it the Fred Winter? I think it is. Anyway, it's running today in the last but one race. I realised it wasn't going to win the Triumph a good few weeks ago. He still sent it to Cheltenham, and I read a report that Willie put out about it yesterday. I think Rachel's up, Rachel Blackmore, who I like. I think she's a great jockey. I think it'll be the best jockey that's been on it thus far. Tell a lie. I think Tannen was on it last time. But I've not been happy with its riding before now. I think she'll give it every chance. And Mullins is saying this better ground day definitely is what the horse wants. And it might just surprise a few. Well, I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping it always runs a place. So I put that in there. Now the thing is, I'd have had that as my number 2 horse. It's out to 14s now. It was 11s last night. And with what Mullins have said, I'm thinking it could come in under 10-1. I can't guarantee that's a win. If I was going to put a winner there, it wouldn't be Mercia. But what I'm looking at now is I can't have it out me 2, and I can't have it where it's the second horse and it comes in at under 10-1. Because if it did win the race or place, I lost the 10 points, I'd be gutted. More so because I've been on it for the Triumph Hurdle. So I put Mercia in as my first horse, and my second I put Wendrock in. Top weight, Elliott horse. I think we've not seen the best of it. I think it could run a place at a big price. Hard race, but I think it could run a place. Last race, my main horse is Transmission. I read Patrick Mullins has said he starved himself for 10 days to do the weight. It's got to reverse form with the Rebecca Curtis horse. I think it's capable. And the way it ran on last time was really encouraging for this extra distance. I think it'll be there or thereabouts. And my second one in the race is one called Will Do, the Elliott horse. I like it a lot. I think he's got a cracking chance of making the first 4. I really, really do. So that's it for me, folks. Kopek de Bourg and Irancy in the first. Madgeborough Only by Night in the second. Grandeur Dame and Richmond Lake the third. Lossiemouth and Chitara, although I didn't want it. Constitutional and Burdett Road. Mercia and Wenrock. Transmission and Will Do. And that's what I've done as well. I've even done, can you see that? What I've done, different people have opinions. They have opinions or verdicts. Some people have verdicts and opinions. I've done something called Grump's Growlers. Grumpy's Growlers. I'm grumpy, and these are my growlers. These are the ones that I think can take some money off the bookies today. And what I've gone for one in each race. It's a new thing. I just come up with it. I don't know what made me think of it, but I just thought it'd be an idea to have verdicts on each race, just for Cheltenham. Only for Cheltenham, you understand. Race 1, William Money, each way. I do everything on SP. I don't do all these fancy prices. William Money, each way. 4 places. Sky Bet. Madgeborough, win. Race 2. Race 3, The Changing Man. Again, each way. 7 places. Sky Bet. Race 4, Joyeuse. If it gets the distance, I think it will. I think it frames that. Each way. 3 places. Constitution Hill, to win. Mercia, each way. 6 places. I can't desert it, folks. And in the last, Will Do, each way. 5 places. All at SP. I'll let you know tomorrow how I did. Well, I want to let you know. You'll know yourself because you'll see. Thoughts on the races today. Race 1. Irancy. Well, it's missed a long. It's been out a couple of times on the easy list. But its last couple of races have looked pretty good. And I fancy it to possibly run a place. I can't see Kopek getting beat. As long as it doesn't boil over. Based on what we've seen last time, if that's its true running, then it looks a monster. Salvatore Mundi, I wanted to mention that. I just don't get it. It was favourite when it won its last race, and the stable were talking it up. Ruby said it won in spite of itself. Ruby said he thought it was a fantastic run and it's only going to get better. It was something like 2-1 favourite. Willie said right at the outset it's going for the Supreme, nothing else. He doesn't always say that about an horse. And then Kopek comes out, blasts him out of the water. All of a sudden, Salvatore's about 4 or 5-1, second fav. I looked at the betting yesterday, it was about 8s to 10s. I'm looking at its 14s, and I'm thinking to myself, well, how could it go from second fav at 4 or 5 to about 14s? If they fancied it as strong as they did. I'd be taking that on a match bet if I could find one against it. And I've got a match bet in the race. I'm hoping William Money can turn it around with work ahead. De Bromhead hasn't been going as well. He does well here. He does well in this race. Rachel's fantastic. But there's just something that I like about William Money. And it's not because it's an O'Sullivan stable horse and the race named after him. I just like the horse, and I was very impressed with its last performance. So I've got a match bet there, so I'm hoping one can beat the other. Race 2, I think if Madgeburgh stands up, I think it's all about Madgeburgh. I really, really do. But we'll see. Race 3, Broadway Boy. I looked at it, and I followed it last year, but it's not been the same horse this year. But it likes Cheltenham, and he's always capable of getting a winner or two at Cheltenham, is the Twister. Sequestered, I looked at Sequestered, I like that. I like Richmond Lake a lot. It's coming back to some decent form this year. And I like Brian Hughes. It might be the stable second string, but I like that Hughes is on it. Melina Girl, I was going to have that as my second horse in the race, but last night it was 12-1. It's 14s now, it might come in. I like the trainer. The Changing Man I've already mentioned, and Grandad Dame, or Grandad Dam, whatever it's called. If it lasts the 3 mile one, I think it's got a great chance. Next race, I've always loved Lossiemouth, I've just loved it, but the vibes are really, really poor. They really are. Calaconte, steady horse, was going to have that in there. Joyeuse, I think, as I say, it's first 3, if it stays. And Jade de Grugy's done nothing wrong, just come back. One race not so many weeks ago, won well. That's probably looking at really a horse that's probably going to be bet into about 3-1, that I would imagine. The Champion, I just can't see past Constitution, really. You know, the Brighter Days run fantastically last time, but I just got it in my head it might be a one-off. Is it a one-off or not? We'll know more today. And Stateman, I think its price is massive, although I still can't see it winning. 6th race, I've mentioned Wendrock and Mercier, you know everything there. I like the look of Hot Fuss. I see Dave the Suit's just gone on that. I like Hot Fuss. And I think of the O'Brien too. I think I prefer the one with JJ rather than the one that Walsh has plumped for. I quite like Slurricane as well, and Quantock Hills ever so slightly as well. And in the last, I like both of Elliot, Stuzzakini and Will Do. I like Transmission, and I like the Rebecca Curtis one. And that's it. So they're all the horses I'm going to be looking at today. I just seen Dave the Suit's done a place bet. I would have never give a place bet out on here. I'll tell you what, Dave, if your place pot comes up, you've got some big outsiders there. It could pay really, really good, but it won't pay as good as it would have done if you'd not given it out. You don't give a place bet out, mate, to your followers. If you bet it, and 5 more do when it comes in and it pays big today, you're only going to get a fifth of what you would have got, man. That's not the way to do it. Right, folks, on about tote betting, I've said this to you before, and it's worth having a look at. The ITV7 one, I don't know where it's in at the moment, but please have a look at the ITV7 place pot. I see the place pot today. In fact, I'm going to do another video in a minute on the tote, and then I'm going to finish for the day. And then I'm going to, I'm going to do a tote video. Watch the tote video, folks. It's well worth watching, honestly. It really is. If I say so myself. This one's a long one, it's 13 minutes.